Welcome back, accounting students. Hopefully you guys stretched a bit and you went for a quick walk to the kitchen, grabbed that glass of water, and you're ready now to do some calculations. Right, have your calculators in front of you, pen, paper. Let's go straight into an exercise. Okay. Right, so remember before the ad break, we obviously looked at year-end procedures. We're now looking at an example, and obviously it's going to include calculations. So let's go through the information first, and then obviously we're going to get to our calculations. Right, so for this question, CC Traders is owned by partners Craig and Candace. Their financial year ends on the 28th of Feb 2021. Use the information provided to calculate the following. So we're going to calculate interest on capital for each partner, annual salary for each partner, remaining profit or losses, and partner's share of the remaining profit or losses. Right, so let's look at the information given. So as you can see, we've got an extract from the ledger at the end of the financial year. Capital for Craig is sitting at 1 million, while Candace, her capital is sitting at 800,000. And then we've got our transactions that are given to us. So we've got a bit of information about the net profit. Guys, I'm not reading through this at this stage because we're going to read through it in detail as we're doing the calculations. So I've got the net profit given to me. Then I've got interest on capital, the percentage given to me. Then I've got something about Craig increased his capital. Partner Candace decreased her capital. Okay, right? What else is given to me? Information about their monthly salary, something about Craig being entitled to a 13th salary. All I'm doing now, guys, is I'm scanning. I'm not reading, right? Something about Candace withdrew her salary for March, how remaining profit and losses are going to be shared. Okay, right, so I've got some kind of idea in terms of the information that I have. Let's now go to our calculations, and then we're going to read the information in more detail. So the very first calculation is going to take us a bit of time. I'm going to go quite slowly because this is absolutely important. And again, guys, work with me. So we are calculating the interest on capital for each partner. Now, before I look at the information, in my brain, I need to know the financial year I am working for. So remember, the financial year ends on the 28th of Feb 2021, which means it started on the 1st of March 2020. So my brain needs that information. Which financial year am I working for? So I'm like, okay, 1st March until the end of Feb. Cool, it's in my brain. Now let's go back to the information in terms of Craig. Right, so from the information given, okay, Craig's capital is sitting at 1 million, but I also have additional information. So I'm looking at this particular bullet point. Note, partner Craig increased his capital by 200,000 on the 1st of September 2020. This was recorded. Now guys, yes, Mahesh knows. This is where we make mistakes. This was recorded. Where was it recorded? In my general ledger. So in other words, that 200,000 is already included in the 1 million. It was recorded. Okay, right, so what I'm doing now is I'm taking that information and I'm putting it in my timeline. So that 1 million is his capital balance at the end of the year because it includes that additional 200,000. You guys with me? Right, which means at the beginning of the year, before Craig increased his capital contribution. Remember, he increased it on the 1st of September. That's when he increased his capital by 200,000. So before he increased his capital contribution, can you see I'm working backwards? His capital was 800,000. Okay, very, very important. Right, it was 800,000. He then obviously increased it by 200,000 on the 1st of September, and his capital balance is now 1 million. Okay, very, very important again that my brain sees that information, that my brain processes that information. So let's now do the calculation for Craig. Right, so as you can see, I'm just going to quickly change the color of my pen because there's too much of red at the moment. So as you can see, for the first 6 months of the year, his capital balance is 800,000. So he's going to earn interest on that 800,000. So let's do our calculation. 800,000 for the first 6 months, right? He's going to earn, let's just quickly go back. So interest is sitting at 10%. Okay, so 10% for the first, that's the interest rate, right, 10%. And as we said, it's for 6 months, so 6 over 12. Right, so let's get our calculator out. Okay, just move that a bit so you guys can see. Right, so we've got 800,000 as our capital for Craig for the first 6 months times 10%, and obviously it is 6 months, so I'm just going to divide by 2, right, and an amount of 40,000 for the first 6 months. That is his interest on capital. Right, then what happened on the 1st of September? Craig's capital is now 1 million. Remember, he now increased his capital by 200,000, so he's going to now earn interest on that 1 million. So 1 million times 10%, and again, this is obviously the next 6 months, so 6 over 12, and that should give us, let's get the calculator out again. Right, so we've got 1 million, just watch very carefully for the zeros, guys. Right, so I should have 6 zeros, and I do, times 10%, right, and if I divide that by 2, an amount of 50,000. Okay, so as you can see, the interest on capital for Mr. Craig for the year, an amount of 90,000. Okay, worth at least 3, sometimes 4 marks. Okay, you guys with me? Right, let's now move on to the next partner, which is Candace. And let's calculate, let's do the same thing for Candace. Let's calculate her interest on capital. Now, I don't want you guys to get confused, so I'm going to quickly erase the timeline that I drew, right, just to help you guys in terms of the calculation. Or do I have enough space? I probably have enough space, so let's draw up another timeline. Right, so let's just quickly draw up a timeline for Candace. So 1st of March, beginning of the year, and obviously 28th of Feb, 2020 or 2021, end of the year. So let's now look at the information for Candace. Okay, so we're going to go back. Right, and look at what's the story when it comes to Candace. I think I skipped a slide. There we go. Right, so looking at Candace, her capital is given to me as 800,000, but again, I've got additional information about Candace. So partner Candace decreased her capital by 200,000 Rand on the 1st of December 2020. This was not recorded. Okay, so obviously very different from partner Craig. Now, what does it mean when they say it was not recorded? Simple, guys, not recorded. It's not there. It's not recorded. It's just not there. Okay, which means this balance does not represent Candice's balance at the end of the year. This amount represents her balance at the beginning of the year because that decrease was not recorded. Got it? Good. Right, so let's put that in our timeline. So let's go back to our timeline, and at the beginning of the year, we're starting off with 800,000, and then on the 1st of December, okay, so on the 1st of December, she then decided to decrease her capital by 200,000. Let's quickly confirm that. So she did decrease her capital by 200,000, so we are correct. Okay, so by 200,000, which means at the end of the year, her capital is now sitting at 600,000. Okay, now how does that affect your calculations? Obviously, we now have, and I'm just going to again change the color of the pen, just so that no one gets confused. So obviously, for the first, and this should be 9 months, okay, use your fingers if you have to, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, not December, because it's the 1st of December. So for the first 9 months, her interest would be as follows: 800,000 times 10% times 9/12. Okay, so let's get our calculator out again. So this time we're looking at 800,000. Okay, again, just watch for the zeros, 5 zeros, times 10%, right? And then times 9 divided by 12. I'm hoping I don't get decimals. I don't. 60,000. Okay. And then for the remainder of the year, guys, so remember, 1st of December, so we're looking at December, January, February, so for the next 3 months, her interest is now on 600,000. So 600,000 times 10% times 3/12, and that gives us, again, we need our calculator, so 600,000 times 10% times 3 divided by 12, and that gives us 15,000. Okay, so an amount of 15,000. Right, which means her total interest, 60,000 plus the 15,000, and that should give us 75,000 for Candice. Right, I know quite a bit in terms of the calculation, but again, guys, did you see how I broke this down? Because often what happens, you make a mistake where you haven't read recorded, not recorded, and then you tend to carry through that error through the rest of the calculation. There it goes into the general ledger, and by that stage, everything is incorrect. So remember, by paying attention, taking your time, and I know you're probably saying, but Mahesh, accounting, there's never time. There is time, guys. You've just got to be a bit clever in terms of when you read the information and you're using your time. Okay, right, so our first question done and dusted. The next question shouldn't take us that long. So for our next question, let's look at the calculation that is required. So here we are told to, let's just bring that this side quickly. Okay, so the next question, what have I done? There we go. Right, so we're now calculating the annual salary for each partners. So partner Craig and Candice, let's look at Craig first, and then we might take a quick break. So partner Craig, looking at the information given for partner Craig. Okay, so we've got the monthly salary for partner Craig is 15,000 and for partner Candace 12,000. So we're only worried about Craig for now. Craig is also entitled to a 13th salary. Right, now here, this is not a bonus, guys, right? Although it may seem like a bonus, here we're talking about his salary, right? So that 15,000, okay, let's just go back there. Let me just say that one more time. You know what, guys, maybe I do need a break. Right, so let's leave you in a bit of suspense. I think let's take a quick break, and when I return, we'll tackle Craig's salary. See you guys in a bit.